nerds, welcome to JerAwards. Today, we're going to recap Season 1 of Legacies. Ah, good stuff. Listen, we're already 16 episodes up, 16 episodes down. We've watched, wait, how many episodes? 279 episodes of the Vampire Diary universe. That includes 171 of TVD, 92 of the originals, and now 16 of this. We have 16, and I think 20? Last season's got 20 episodes, right? Give me a second. I can confirm they had 20 episodes. Long way from the top if you want to rock and roll. So here's how this works. If you are new here, if you're coming back to it, for the recap, we're just going to kind of briefly, I don't take as many notes as I used to for the Vampire Diaries for each episode. Those just used to be recapping each and every episode, kind of more off the top of the dome, and it's more focused on the JerAwards, about favorite episode, favorite characters, etc., in memoriam, and all of those things. So without further ado, let's just talk about Season 1 of Legacies. We get thrown right back into this little universe. We had to go grab the Brothers Bond, had on the Mystic Falls shirt for everything. I just finished watching the finale, and it was pretty solid. I mean, the season was good. It was great. Everything there was a lot of fun. It's good to see Rick again. It's good to see Hope. She's grown up. You got Lizzie and Josie, who's grown up. We get introduced to characters like MG, who's the same actor that played in the family from Logan. We get introduced to Caleb and to Raph and to Landon Kirby. And things are kind of a mystery because we have the girls at the school, but we get introduced to this guy, Landon, who's just a human, and his best friend turns out to be a werewolf. And Landon, love at first sight when it comes to Hope Michelson. But while he's at the Salvatore school, we're back where the Salvatores live, now turned to a school by Rick and sweet Caroline. They both come together to form this school. Caroline completely absent throughout the entirety of the season, even though phone calls are made, no voice, nothing of Candace King whatsoever. But now that we're there, Landon grabs this knife and Hope says, hey, don't touch that. It's not your stuff. This is all Stefan stuff. Why does Stefan have this? We have no idea. So they run off. Lo and behold, he's human. He can't stay at the school, but his werewolf friend can. And this sword is a magnet for all things supernatural. Sam, everything there is now, all these monsters, creatures from the past are coming to fight. Things that we previously thought were extinct are coming after this knife, but why? Why do these things exist if they're only in fairy tale? Well, it's because of Malivore. Malivore is this black puddle. It's this ooh, this goo, this nasty thing like Ivan Ooze. And these creatures have been erased from time. That's the reason. They're just myths. They're not real. The Headless Horseman, gargoyles, dryads, these dragons, these creatures are all stuff from folklore, except they really used to exist. It's just that Malivore consumed them and made people forget about them outside of the stories and everything. So, there's that. All of these supernatural creatures are coming to get this artifact of the knife. The knife seems to be the only thing, those artifacts seem to be the only thing that can kill things. Which is kind of lazy that the other item also ended up being a knife, like the third key. But the first key is a knife. The second key ends up being an urn. And the third key is also some sort of fucking dagger / letter opener. They got lazy on that part. But still. These monsters want to throw these keys because if all three keys are thrown to the black hole, then Malivore can come destroy everything. But it's not just some black plague. Malivore is a living creature. It's a golem that a werewolf, a witch, and a vampire use to help destroy all supernatural things. It became self-aware. It realized it was alone. It wanted to make creatures, so it makes a creature. But it's not perfect. So that creature eventually turns on Malivore and gets the humans to defy their new god, and they melt him into a fucking puddle. So that's the main puddle. That's the main antagonist, is this goo. All of these creatures, they come, they go, and throughout all the ways we deal with the inner workings of these teenagers. There's love. There's drama. There's difficulties. Immediately, we get the twins of Lizzie and Josie. They are 16, 17 years old. They have no idea about the merger that happens within the Gemini Coven, and that is something they learn down the line. Lizzie learns it from talking to a genie in a different dimension. Joe learns it through being a little nosy, but getting information from Penelope Parker, who is her ex-girlfriend that broke up with her. Penelope breaks up with her because she has no time for a relationship with constantly dealing with her twin sister, Lizzie. Joe, dark hair like Joe. Lizzie, blonde hair like Caroline. Joe has no time for a relationship because of Lizzie's mental issues, because of her breakdowns and things of that nature. So they break up. It's bad. There's conflict between them, but they keep constantly coming back to each other until Penelope eventually leaves the school and informs Joe about the merger. On the other hand, with Landon, he's just a human. We have Raph, who is a werewolf, and he ends up becoming alpha of his wolf pack. He became a wolf by triggering his wolfness because he killed his girlfriend in a car accident that genuinely was an accident. They end up making amends as she comes back from the dead, but he also ends up having feelings for Hope Michelson, our dear little Hope that we met back in the originals. So why is that a bad thing? Well, because Hope is with normal boy Landon. With everybody else here, we get introduced to vampires like MG, who's a comic book nerd, super horny, constantly just wants to make out with all these chicks, and he does so. We got Caleb, who was a former D1 athlete until he became a vampire. And Caleb kind of just embraces his vampireness of, I'm better than everybody else, I can just feed when I want to, and introduces Caleb to that, or MG to that lifestyle. But MG is a ripper, so that was a no-go. And then, of course, Caleb kind of corrects his character throughout the course of the season. Alaric Saltzman, of course, is back as the headmaster. Drinking problem. He doesn't have the best relationship with his daughters. He has a more stronger relationship with Hope. And Hope, obviously, is our tribrid. Now, with Rick, real quick, Rick has a thing for his therapist, but his therapist has a thing for Dorian, who's the kid that was with him at the armory, and that was the one who Stefan kind of killed his whole family. That's the whole thing. Keep this a little condensed. We get to Hope, and Hope is our tribrid, and she's here at school, and she's not friends with the twins. In fact, they kind of bully one another. Hope does make friends with Joe and eventually makes friends with Lizzie, with a bunch of drama in between. Hope does fall for Landon after first having some issues. Landon, of course, was also in the originals. They had a small little date, and they danced together, and they come back around. And Hope saves the day over and over and over again with all of her abilities. We see her kind of be a vampire in flashbacks, but not really in modern time. We see her use her witch abilities often, and she turns into a wolf at one point as well. But their main thing here is Triad, who's been keeping this Malivore thing under locks. Landon and his friend Raph are both orphans. Landon has no idea who his parents are, and MG knows who his parents is. His mother ends up being the leader of this triad group. His father wants nothing to do with him. He didn't know that he was alive, but once he realizes that he is, he curses him for being a vampire. Very emotional. Best episode, probably. Maybe a spoiler for a favorite episode coming up. As we move along here, now it's getting a little spotty. I was kind of going in order, but now it's going to be all over the place. Through a course of events, MG in heartbreak kills Landon. MG's dying from a werewolf bite because he was protected by his brother, Landon's brother, in Raph. As they mourn the loss of Landon, he resurrects as our first Phoenix. You see, Landon meets his mother, but she sacrifices herself to Malivore for the sake of, lying to keep a secret to help Landon. She was thrown into the pit years ago, but she came out pregnant. Immaculate conception, except the father is Malivore itself. And the creature we talked about was this mysterious Ryan Clark fella who's been running around. Through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, many monsters killed, many artifacts thrown into the pit, we find ourselves in a situation with a bunch of extra fat trimmed off of this, where through Rick's own contingency plan, Triad breaks in and causes a bunch of issues off on the side. The last artifact is thrown in. Malivore is about to be summoned, but the one play that they have is the tribrid, Hope, who's been unaffected by all this stuff this entire time, to sacrifice herself. She jumps in, and that's where the season ends. Now, of course, that's a lot of confusing if you listen to that at face value. The purpose of these recaps isn't to educate you on what happened of it. It's just me off the top of the head recapping from my own words. If I put some time and wrote a script, I could probably make a hell of a recap, but that's just off the top. That's where we end it, is they don't know who Hope is anymore because she jumped into Malivore. So it's like, where does it go? What do we do? There's a couple small changes I can make. I don't have anything major that I can remember off the top of my head. I enjoy all of these characters. I think Ryan Clark is probably the most boring character of them. He's just not interesting. He's not an interesting villain in the least. So I'm not going to really hold that against him, but still. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited. I can't really nitpick. The supernatural thing felt over top, but they actually managed to do it well. It's good to see Rick. It's good to see all of these things. The kids have to vote to see if Rick's going to stay as their headmaster because it is his contingency plan. And we'll kind of just go from there. And I don't think they should show Hope in the first couple episodes, but if they do, it should be a situation of like Hope is trying to get out and the rest of the crew is just living their day-to-day lives with little sparkles of memory in the back of their brain. But in just a couple of minutes there, just a few words, that is our recap for season 1 of Legacies. I like it. I put it off for so long because I wanted the show to end before I watched it, and it ended, and I still put it off because I made prior commitments to other shows for you all. Shadowhunters was a thing that a lot of people voted for, but not a lot of people watched. It's a very niche thing, and that's okay. And Legacies bringing back in some old viewers and some people who've just been kind of waiting has felt pretty awesome reading some of those comments. Now that this is being edited, once this is done and edited, I will go in and read all the comments from season 1. So if you see stuff, comments or hearts or stuff from a week, 2 weeks ago, that's why. And yeah, we'll leave it at that for the recap. I don't have any nitpicks. I don't have any real predictions for the next one. I just think we're just going to keep on trucking, brother. So I think with that out of the way, we can hop into season 1 of Legacies JerAwards. We'll kick things off with our favorite episode. Your nominees are as followed: episodes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 13, 14, and 16. All of those being episode 1, this is the part where you run. 2, some people just want to watch the world burn. 3, we're being punked Pedro. 5 was Malivore. 6 was Mom Be Dearest. 8, maybe I should start from the end. 9, what was Hope doing in your dream? 13, the boy who still has a lot of good to do. 14, let's just finish the dance. And then 16, there's always a loophole. The finale ended up being good. The first half was boring, but the back half was immaculate. Favorite episode by a landslide, though, is season 1, episode 13, the boy who still has a lot of good to do. It was emotional, had a lot of stories come together. It had big payoffs. Easily. Remember, too, you can let me know your own JerAward winners in the comment section. Favorite scene from any of those episodes? Season 1, episode 1. Your first nominee here is Jo setting her ex's hair on fire. From 1-2, the team actually scoring points in football. From 1-7, Dorian telling Caleb why he takes off for Remembrance Day. Episode 11, Rick's little date with Emma. That went sideways, though. The talent show. Episode 13, Caleb's conversation with MG after the Landon thing. Episode 13, Landon's resurrection. And episode 15, the story of Malivore, broken up from many scenes, but being narrated, of course, by Mr. Ryan Clark. And my favorite episode, or favorite scene of this entire thing, was Caleb's conversation with MG after the fucking kill, man, after he killed Landon. It was emotional. It was heavy. Fuck that stuff with your family. If you don't have family, you don't got anybody to go see, you got me. At the end of the day, you got me. And it was kind of the culmination of Caleb kind of flipping his character around from kind of being a little evil. He wasn't really, but like, you know, it was a good payoff. I'll leave it at that. Most heartbreaking scene from season 1, episode 1, just seeing the Salvatore house. Yep, that's actually a nominee. Kirby being scared of small spaces. That's back when I was calling him Kirby. I forgot his name was Landon. From season 1, episode 5, Oliver not remembering the Dryad. Ugh. From season 1, episode 6, Rick and the girls, goodbye to Jo. Episode 8, Raph seeing his dead girlfriend again. From 113, Caleb seeing MG dying. Also from 13, Hope seeing Landon dead. From 14, Penelope and Joe's goodbye with one another. And from 15, Rick telling the girls about the merge. I don't have anything about Hope being erased from memory because I know it's not that bad. My most heartbreaking scene was going to be some of the stuff from episode 13. Fuck, it was almost Penelope and Joe's goodbye. But it's going to be Rick and the girls, their goodbye to Jo. Because him getting that much needed fucking closure and with his daughters and just having that moment, dude. I mean, that's another chef's kiss. Just just fucking peak, man. Funniest scene, I got a winner. I locked it in. I really didn't write nothing else after it. So we'll give the 2 nominees and the winner last. From season 1, episode 2, the insults during the fucking football game. I didn't write them all down, but that girl Dana was throwing shade left and right, and all of that shit was hilarious. But the winner was Dana puking her fucking soul out because, bro, what? 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 That is the most insane shit. You couldn't even predict it to come, to predict it to happen. It reminds me, again, of Don't Be a Menace to South Central or Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. Buddy was flattened out. She puked herself. Nobody tried to stop her, intervene, none of it. They just let it fucking happen. Flip it over to Favorite Kiss. We got a good chunk of nominees here. Specific episodes. We got season 1, episode 1, the first kiss of Hope and Kirby, of Landon. From 1-4, Joe and Raph. I was excited about that, but no payoff yet. From 1-5, Hope and Kirby. From 1-11, Joe and Penelope. From 1-11, Rick and Emma. I know, it feels weird now, but I nominated it. And your winner actually is the last nominee here, but it's from season 1, episode 14. It's Josie and Penelope's final kiss. The breakup, all the information coming back around. It just felt genuine and real, and it gave them both kind of closure. And it was just a lot of weight off their shoulders, but also adding more weight on Josie's shoulders because of what's to come. I hope we see Penelope down the line, but that was her exit from the season. She didn't show up in 15 and 16. Joe and Penelope's final little smooch. Beautiful. We love to see it. Favorite kill from 1-2, Alaric killing the dragon. 1-3, the girls killing the gargoyle. From 1-4, the girls killing the spider. From 1-9, Hope killing the dream demon hag thing. Or from the finale, Hope killing the headless horseman. Wasn't a lot of cool kills, honestly. There wasn't. Some things just happened. But the girls coming together for the first time, holding hands to kill the gargoyle with one unison spell, that takes the cake as favorite kill for season 1. Favorite quote, the funniest quote would have been like, "I'm happy right now in the arms of my demon-possessed baby mama," Rick saying to Joe. But my favorite quote comes down to Caleb telling MG that I'm your family. Favorite friendship nominees are Caleb and MG, Rick and Dorian, Hope and Rick. You're like, that's not a lot of people. There was other friendships. I mean, well, you know what? Also to be nominated, should be nominated, is, of course, Raph and Landon. My favorite friendship of this was Caleb and MG. Like, yes, Landon and Raph have solidified brotherhood. That's just a guarantee. But the turnaround of Caleb and MG, good shit, man. Favorite ship, I only put a few nominees. We had Hope and Landon, of course. We had Joe and PP. We had Joe and Raph. We had Lizzie and Raph was on here at one point. We had MG and Nia. We had MG and Lizzie. I don't know if I just said that again or not. We had Rick and Emma, Dorian and Emma, Joe and Hope, because there was definitely a thing brewing there for a little bit. I'm not putting Raph and Hope because it's fucking weird, but we'll top it off with our winner. Favorite ship, believe it or not, maybe it's a little toxic. Josie and PP. Joe and Penelope, man. Yep. Least favorite character was Ryan Clark. He was boring as shit. Most underrated character, Penelope. Penelope, just, some people just want to watch the world burn, and she was a puppet master for a little bit, and knowing everybody's thoughts and secrets and giving that information over to Joe, most underrated. Favorite character, here's your nominees for everybody I like this season. Hope, Rick, Joe, Landon, MG, Caleb, Penelope, the Necromancer. Favorite character for season 1. It's crazy because going into it, I would have assumed Alaric. MG was taking it for a while, but I think I got to give it to Caleb. The more I thought about it, I had to go with gut instinct. My gut told me to pick Caleb. Caleb is my favorite character for season 1 of Legacies. And now for the season names. The names, man. Season 1, we're simply just dubbing Supernatural. It's supernatural. It's all the supernatural creatures attacking the school. That's what we got. Our finale name is No Way Home, and that is Hope sacrificing herself to defeat Malivore and making everybody forget she exists. That's not how you spell exist, Jeremy. Okay. For your D20 dice rolls, this is Patreon peeps only. Beginning of each episode, we just roll a D20. They guess a number. It's just for shits and gigs. Your most rolled number was a number 11, rolled 4 times. Highest rolled number was 19, rolled once. Lowest was the number 1, rolled once. Double digits beat single digits 10 to 6 or 63 to 37%. Evens beat odds. Odds beat evens 11 to 5 or 69 to 31%. No back-to-back rolls of the same number. Numbers matching the episode number. Only one we had was season 1, episode 6. We rolled the number 6, and 10 numbers were not rolled in season 1, including the following: 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, and the crucial number 20. And the last thing to wrap this up will be our in memoriam, our in loving memory, or rest in peace, rest in dirt, rest in piss, however you want to call it. Whoever Raph killed at the beginning ended up being his girlfriend. All of the bus people, the dragon lady, the gargoyle, Dana, the spider, that one kid that kind of was taken over by the spider, Connor, was that his name? The dryad, Sela, ? The unicorn, all the slugs and all the bugs, the mummy, the security guard at Triad, the headless horseman, Ryan Clark, although brought back, Landon Kirby ×2, although brought back, and Malivore, ? That's it. Rest in peace, rest in piss, however you want to choose it, those people. Long live. And that wraps up our first official season of Legacies. Again, 16 up, 16 down. You guys can let me know your own nominees, not nominees, don't do that, that'd be a lot. Let me know your own winners for the JerAwards. And that's where I will leave you all. Tomorrow is season 2, episode 1 of, almost just said Supernatural. Season 2, episode 1. Is it starting automatically? No, it's not. Of Legacies, which is entitled, I'll Never Give Up Hope. No pun intended, I guess. And that is where we will leave it. Let me know what you thought about season 1 or watching season 1 along with me. Thoughts and opinions on how you thought I'd react to things compared to how I actually reacted to them. And we can leave it there. Again, all 16 episodes will be available on Patreon once the show is wrapped up. Season 1, episode 1 will be free for everybody. And for now, links and everything will be in the description box down below. Playlist will be up on screen. Stay cute, stay hydrated, and I will catch you on the next one.